If you guys are not familiar with Shelby Sapp, she is a coach or like a mentor online, and she basically teaches about sales, specifically online sales. She is dubbed the queen of remote closing or the number one female sales trainer, and she's currently making about $1 million a month. These numbers were from a recent WAP video that was just dropped. WAP did an interview with her. I'm guessing she has her platform set up with that, or she does payment processing with them. And so that's how we are getting this number of $1 million per month. Just a few months ago, I saw some videos where it was saying like she was making anywhere from 400 to 500, but within those few months, I've also been seeing a lot more of her videos. So she's definitely doing good for herself here. And so I just want to really break down her whole funnel, right? Why is it that she's able to make this $1 million per month? Let's just basically dive in. So like I said, if you guys don't know who she is, she does sales. And so how Shelby started out with sales is that she did door-to-door sales in the pest control space, basically like extermination or like spraying, basically to keep bugs out of your home, right? And that's how she really got into the space of sales. And so she has also mentioned that she has been able to make over $100,000 a month with this pest control business that she was doing sales for, but now she switched over to coaching. It's just the common sense of she can't do everything herself now. So the way she can grow and grow her income is by teaching others and getting others to pay for her actual expertise within this online sales space, right? So she really founded She Sells Academy and has been named among the top sales trainers of 2025. And so obviously this takes a lot of work, but what really makes Shelby stand out at the end of the day? And I basically broke it down into 3 parts, right? So number 1, she puts social media first, right, for her strategy. Number 2, personal branding and authority. And number 3, which is super unique to her, is that it's woman-centered empowerment. And I'll break that down in a bit here. But starting off with social media first strategy, right? So going the less traditional route of sales training and ditching the corporate style education and basically going all in on TikTok and Instagram. And the reason why this is so different is when you think of like corporate sales, right? You think of some dudes inside an office dialing away, making money that way. And so with her, it's a little bit different because her content blends sales tips, mindset coaching, and lifestyle branding, making her both a trainer and an influencer. So she leverages both her like status as an influencer, someone who is able to change the market, who's able to make like memes, who's able to, make TikToks, things like that. And she blends it with being a trainer. So someone who has authority, someone who has power. It's kind of like the idea of like TJR or Brez. They make funny content, but they're also able to make content that's pretty serious, or you see clips of them being serious and stuff like that. So with hers, it's a little bit different. And I'll explain that a little bit later down the line. So you guys can kind of see or get the idea of that, right? And so personal branding and authority, right? She's branded herself as the number 1 female sales trainer, which creates instant authority positioning. And her polished look, confident speaking, and heavy use of social proof, features, testimonials, lifestyle content really make her brand feel aspirational. And also going over the last portion here, which is the women-centered empowerment, it really emphasizes empowering women in an industry still dominated by men. And I think this is why we are seeing such a drastic growth within her own offer, is because no one else is doing what she's doing right now. Obviously, there are some people who have their own info offers, but they're not doing it like Shelby is doing it, where it's almost like we're being suffocated by all of her content, right? And so her messaging really resonates with younger women who want financial independence, flexibility, and confidence in selling without needing a corporate job. And that's really why she is able to grow so big, right? There's a lot of hustle culture within the guys space. New guys doing info, new guys doing drop shipping, new guys doing trading and stuff. But this is so different because it's online sales for women. Like, I don't even know anybody who had an offer like that. Obviously, there's some people who do online sales or teaching about coaching and stuff like that, right? But nobody was doing it geared towards women. Obviously, if a guy was doing it, they would accept a woman inside their like program or whatever. But having one that is completely women based has never been seen before. That's what I'm basically trying to say. And so a lot of people really complicate how the funnel is actually built out, right? So it really is just traffic, leads, and conversion. And so it's super simple. Anybody can really do this. It's all about getting eyes on you, getting those eyes interested or nurtured, and then selling to those eyes, right? And so with her target audience, it's basically women ages 18 to 25 looking to get into sales. Obviously, there's going to be some people who are on the younger end or the older end, but this is typically what she is targeting. Probably people who are in college or just leaving college or looking to find a reason to leave college. Also women who want to escape from the traditional 9 to 5. And she's really attracting a boss girl type audience. And the reason why I'm saying this is she is focusing on women empowerment again. So she talks a lot about, doing things yourself, not having to depend on anybody. And this is the type of audience she's trying to attract, because these are the type of people who are going to succeed anyways, right? She doesn't want people who are lazy. She doesn't want people who are confused with what they want to do. She just wants people who know that they can get the job done, and they just need this vehicle to basically turn them into the salesperson that they know that they can be. So with the whole traffic setup, she mainly uses 1, Instagram, 2, TikTok, and 3, YouTube, which I will say she does not utilize enough, right? So let's look at her actual Instagram. So her bio setup here, she almost has 1 million followers. She also dubs herself right here, right? The number one female sales trainer and the number one largest sales academy for women. Here's her little plug to her business page. We'll put that here, BP business page. And also she has a call to action for her next live sales training. And so we're going to look at the core components, which are the highlights, the posts and reels, and the actual stories. For the highlights, she doesn't have too many. I believe she used to have a lot more before, but she is basically just putting out her student wins. Student wins number 1 and number 2, and this is for pure results and nothing else. She's focusing on conversion through results, not much lifestyle stuff, just a lot of social proof. With the Instagram post and reels, it's specifically made for her audience, targeting women in her videos, styles of videos that women like, and so that's split up into like 4 different categories, right? There is the sales aspect, the edits aspect, the audio plus caption aspect, and the lifestyle. With sales, I would say, and all these are not like split equally. I think with the sales, I think it's like 30%. Sorry about the bad handwriting there. Lifestyle is about 30%. And then this is about 20. And this is about 20. Super bad handwriting, but you guys get it, right? So it's split up like this because she obviously wants to focus on the main thing that she's trying to sell, which is sales and the lifestyle. She's using the lifestyle as proof that sales works, and the edits and the audio plus caption is basically just there to just drive more content, right? More variety. And so, for example, here with the sales, how to close, I need to think about it, objection like a hot girl in sales or whatever. I just need to think about it anytime. And basically she just shows live there how she's able to handle that objection. With these edits, it's a lot of these like Shelby Sapp mentality videos. I've been seeing a lot of these. It's basically her. I wouldn't say like red pill-ish, but she's kind of pushing the red pill side of things. Kind of like working for your own money, like why aren't you doing this? You're lazy, get your bread up kind of things. And also with the audio and caption, right? These are basically like 6-7 second videos of her just doing an action or like showing herself with a little caption here. So your path is harder because your calling is higher. Get used to it. And then lastly is the lifestyle. She basically just talks about her daily life, what's happening, if there's anything going on within her life, if she's preparing for anything. And like you can see here, it says pick my outfit for a keynote speaking event. And so now moving on to the stories, this is basically the needle mover, as I like to call it, or I guess you could say like the bread maker. This is where she's making the most of her money and where she's able to drive people to actually want to go ahead and work with her. So there is a bunch of things that she adds in, and it's a good mixture of a few things, right? So here, business insights. She basically just talks about her business or whatever. Talks talked about building up her offer and stuff like that. This took about 18-hour days, no joke. Talks about also working, shows her filming actually. It shows her results. Here's probably one of her students here. Another one of her students, some results here. More results, more student results here. Results explainer, talking about how these results are basically possible. And then a call to action right here. And also she builds a lot of scarcity. Last chance to come get trained by me for free. And then here is the high ticket sales training. And this was, I believe, one day before her actual event was going to happen. So that's why it says training tonight. But it's basically the same link that is in her bio right here. And so for the call to action examples, it's either the DM reply to story or the free training. For this case, it was just the free training right here, but she also has a DM reply, and then she has a sales team who basically follows up. And also super important, right? But her actual stories need to be more lifestyle, more results, and more insights rather than call to actions. And this is because she does not want to push it too hard that she is selling. And I think it's important to note that I would say like 15%, like 10 to 15% call to actions. So it's usually call to actions at the end of her stories. And she usually posts about 8 to 10 stories a day. All right, so let's look at her business page now, right? So her business page is actually pretty decent. So it's got 65K followers at the time of recording. And so within her bio, she mentions that it's about the She Sells Sales Academy, Hot Girls Learn Sales. It shows that she is the owner here. And then it's also got some call to actions here. DM coach to hire our certified closers, or DM sales to become and it says like become a salesperson. And then here is the actual webinar that she holds as well here, right? And if you look at it, it's a little bit different because with the way she structures it, she almost makes it like it's a corporate kind of style event or page. And the reason why she's doing this is because she's catering to an audience that is more likely to agree with that kind of styling, right? So you look at the highlights here. There's testimonials, DITL. I believe this is day in the life, and then also regional reps. And so going over to the Instagram posts and reels, there's basically 3 different categories of like content that she makes for the posts and reels. It's memes, where she's basically just doing a whole bunch of like girl style memes, memes that girls can, relate to. Like in this instance, it's like talking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. They recently just got married or whatever. And then here she talks about students, how the top She Sells closer made $44K in 4 weeks. And then also a bunch of that networking or community networking type of posts there. Like I said, she likes to have that professional side because it's obviously pushing the narrative that when you join her community, it's not just where you're going to be doing a course, or you're not just going to be learning the whole time from the computer. You're actually going to be going to places, and you guys are going to be talking in person and learning from her and stuff like that. So her stories, it's just a mix of the memes, the results, call to action again, last chance to apply, adding scarcity, and also at the end, she added a small testimonial or shout out, and then a call to action again. And so since this is a business page, she doesn't have to post a lot of lifestyle stuff. It's just mainly there for conversion, right? So call to actions, results, and memes. It's more like, I would say like 40% call to actions, and then basically it's like 30% memes and 30% results here. And so moving on to TikTok, this is where she's going to go viral. So this is the viral monster platform, as I like to call it. And she has about 500,000 followers. She obviously mentions the actual event that's happening. Pinned posts, this is kind of like her story or background story, a little bit about herself. Here is a little talking session in the car where she's talking about girls making their own money, not having to depend on anybody. And then here she talks about sales because that's her bread and butter. And I'm pretty sure these are like her top performing videos as well. As you can see, pretty good numbers, 11 mil, 10 mil, and then 2.8 mil. And on TikTok, what she basically does is she makes like 3 to 4 daily videos right? And her top performing videos, she then puts it on her Instagram Reels. So TikTok is really there just to get her face out there. And anything that performs pretty well on TikTok, she'll move it over to Instagram, because Instagram is where she will do all the actual nurturing, right? And with her YouTube, she actually does not utilize it enough, but I believe she's going to try to push for YouTube a little bit more, just because YouTube is just way better at nurturing people. They're able to sit down and watch your videos for a super long time and basically get sold on the idea that going into sales is going to buy this lifestyle, right? So as you can see at the time of recording, this one was 11 days ago. It did 11K views, but these older ones like 5 months ago and 7 months ago, they have not been able to stay consistent, and that's why you only see like 5 videos total. Obviously there's tons of missed opportunity left on the table here, and I'm going to use TJR or Brez scales as a reference. Them being on YouTube, they literally post like every 3 to 4 days, I believe. I think Brez has been posting less, but they implement YouTube a lot better, and I feel like that's why they're able to hit super strong numbers there, right? Longer video equals more nurturing. Only recently has Shelby been starting to post shorts on here. You can see the videos here. It's honestly not too strong. These are pretty recent, right? 177 views, 1.8K views, 900 views relative to her actual subs and the views for her other videos. These ones are not getting as much visibility yet, but that's just because she just started posting here. And so that is her whole traffic funnel right here, right? So let's look at her leads, and what she's basically doing is a webinar style funnel, which consists of traffic, like what we saw up here, a landing page, collecting info, having the actual webinar, putting the pitch out there, and closing people. Let's look at the second step. We just went over traffic. Let's look at the landing page here. So the landing page, the one that is in all of her bios and stuff like that, this one here, the one on her TikTok, and also the one on her YouTube. Oh, you don't see it here, but in her video descriptions, there's basically the same exact link, right? But it takes you to this landing page. What she does is she builds scarcity here, because it happens every single week. I think a lot of people don't know that, but that's basically how she runs it. Every single week there is going to be a masterclass, and then that's when she does the big push for that. And so free masterclass, how to step into high ticket sales, and basically saying that, you know, you need to save your free spot. She tells you all the things you are going to learn, who this is for, who this is not for, and a little bit of an introduction about herself here. And then at the end, there is this join free live masterclass here. And I think the thing that she should do a little bit better is, instead of having like only this RSVP and this save my spot, and the bottom free live masterclass, she should add it maybe like once or twice more. And so when you also go to the landing page, you will be met with this pop-up. It's basically the exact same thing, trying to get your info here. So like collecting info, that's basically what this button is and this button is, right? So it pops up right into you so that you can just sign up already. And once you go ahead and sign up, there's going to be a thank you page. And so welcome, a special message from me, basically just telling you to check your inbox. And this is going to be the next steps, right? The whole goal for this video is to really make you show up for the webinar and really to have you be educated and nurtured before the actual webinar. And once you add in your email address here and your number, you will get a text message right away. And also with the email sequences, what's going to happen is immediately you're going to get a confirmation, right? It's going to bring positive energy. It's going to remind you that this is for a bigger cause. It's an investment for yourself, and it's going to really set expectations. In the next 2 to 4 days out, there's going to be reminders, basically just dumping information and creating the need to prep for this actual event, making sure that you have it in your calendar, making sure that you have everything you need, you know what they're going to be talking about, and then it's going to create a lot of FOMO. And so on the actual day of the webinar, there's going to be a CTA, you know, it's going to have you do something so that you are prepared, and then also it's going to have the link to the actual webinar itself. To the conversion portion, what's going to happen is that on the actual webinar itself, it's basically just going to turn leads into actual paying clients. The webinar is made to educate and handle all the objections. And after everything, all there is to do is book a call for a mentorship, right? So I personally have not been on this webinar, but it's usually something along the lines of this. You know, there's going to be a whole bunch of information showing all the benefits, and any questions that they have, they will answer it on that call. And if there's anybody who is interested to like learn more, then they're going to go ahead and book a call next with Shelby's sales team. And so how it's going to work is that they're basically going to qualify you either on the call, or there's going to be some texting going on. That's usually how it is. And so there's going to be a few questions asked, but the main ones are if you have the time commitment, if you have a certain long-term goal within the sales space, or, you know, maybe a financial goal, and your budget. And this is a big factor. And this is basically the indicator that tells them if you will be accepted in or not, because they don't want anybody who does not have the money. There's no point in trying to get somebody to buy when they literally have no income to start up. This is probably the biggest mover as to if you are going to get into the actual program here. And so based on these things, right, they can be sold into these different things on the sales call. And so with Shelby, I am not too sure about the actual prices, but it could probably be something along these lines, right? She probably has a mid-ticket anywhere from like 1 to 2K, and this is just basic course and community, most likely bare minimum, little to no coach interaction besides the community. She also has a high ticket, but a low-end high ticket, so like 3 to 5K, and this has everything in the low ticket plus the high-level group calls. And there's also going to be a dedicated coach added, so someone to go ahead and show them the ropes, maybe guide them on anything that they're doing. And at the very top level, it's going to have everything in the high ticket. Plus, you're going to have Shelby as your main coach. You're going to have one-on-ones, most likely on a weekly basis, or you're going to have a numbered amount of calls. So like, let's just say the actual top level is for 1 whole year, and you have like 12 calls, right? So like once a month or something like that, or something along those lines. And so these are most likely the types of offers that she is going to have. And so like I said earlier, this is not too complicated of a funnel. The only thing that's complicated is having all the actual moving parts together. And so if you guys are interested in something like this for your own offer, whether you guys are doing 5K or you guys are doing like 10, 15 plus K, hit me up. I can definitely help you guys out with this. What it really is just actual traffic, leads, and conversion. If you guys have a certain skill set that you guys want to monetize and sell high ticket, or you guys just need to systemize things and don't know how to do it, please let me know. You guys can hit me up on Instagram, just send me a message, or you guys can go ahead and hit the link in the description below. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and see you guys on the next one. Peace.